Hi, first grade. It is time for some math. Today, we are going to talk about 3D shapes. And 3D stands for three-dimensional, which really just means not flat. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. These are some 3D shapes. You've probably seen them before. They look a lot like the flat shapes that we've learned about, except they're three-dimensional. This one is called a cube, and it has 6 faces. So I have a cube here. It's made out of what kind of shape? Squares. So if you had 6 squares, you could make a cube. The face is the flat part of the shape. That's what we call the faces. So we can count them 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's made out of 6 faces, and we call it a cube. The next shape we're going to talk about is a sphere. That's kind of hard to say. This PH makes the F sound. Sphere, a sphere. And a sphere is like a circle, but the 3D version, and it is round like a ball. It has no faces. There's no flat side like there was with the cube, where we have like flat part that we could, if we put it flat on the table, it would stay. It wouldn't go anywhere. That's how you know that it's a face. If I put this one, it would roll and move because it has no flat sides, no faces. Okay. The next one is a cone. And what does it kind of look like? Kind of like an ice cream cone. It's sort of made out of a circle and like a 3D triangle. A cone looks like this. It has one face on the bottom or the top if you're holding it like an ice cream cone, and a rounded surface with a point. This is a cone. And if we look, if we put it flat, it will not roll around because that's the face. But if we put it on this side, it will roll and move because it's not a flat surface. That's not the face. The face is here. Okay, we're almost done. A couple more. We also have this is a big word. Ready? Rectangular. Can you say that? Rectangular prism. Prism. Rectangular prism. Rectangular prism. And that is kind of like how a cube is like a square. A rectangular prism is like a rectangle. And this has 6 faces, just like a square, but it has kind of like 2 squares on the side, 2 short sides, and then 2 short faces, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangular ones. So 6 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 faces. Okay. My last one is a cylinder. A cylinder has a rounded side and 2 faces. And it looks like this. It's kind of got 2 circle shapes on the top and the bottom, and then 1 rounded side. So if I look here, if I put it here, this is a face because it sits flat. And this is a face. It has 2. 1, 2. But this is a rounded side. It's not a face because it doesn't sit flat. It rolls. So you are going to do a 3D shape hunt in your house today. And I did one too. So I want to make sure that you guys see the difference between a 2D shape. So this is our 120 chart. What shape is this? A rectangle, and this is a 2D shape, 2-dimensional. It's a flat rectangle shape because it doesn't have faces, right? It's just flat. But my box of tissues is a rectangular prism. It has 2 short sides and 2 long sides. Like a rectangle, it has 4 sides and 4 corners on one of its faces, but it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces because it's a rectangular prism. It has 6 faces. What other shapes did I look for? Let's see. So rectangular prism, sphere. I bet you could find a sphere in your house. I found a really silly one. Every year, Mr. Angers and I go to Wisconsin Dells, and they have this big crane game. And it's like a giant crane, and the prizes that you try to win are huge. And this is what Mr. Angers tries to win every year in Wisconsin Dells, is his big bouncy ball. So this is a sphere because it's a really big sphere. It has no faces, no flat sides, right? It's round all the way around. If I put it down, it's going to roll and move because it doesn't have any flat sides, no faces. So let's see. I found a rectangular prism. I found a sphere. What about a cube? A cube was kind of tricky. I actually noticed in my house there was a lot of rectangular prisms, but not as many cubes as I thought. So I have this, which is kind of silly because when you buy them in the store, sometimes they're called storage cubes because it's a cube. It's like a little box that you can store and keep things in. And it has a square shape on its face with 4 sides that are the same length and 4 corners. And it has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then really this one was open on the top, so it kind of had 5 faces. But if there was a face here, it would be 6. So this was my cube that I found. I also needed a cone. I think that was the trickiest one to find. I found my magnet that I have that I bought in Mexico, which is perfect because today is Cinco de Mayo, which is a Mexican holiday. And it's of a hat, and if you notice, it's kind of got a cone at the top, right? How a cone had one flat face and then like a rounded edge. So it's got the flat bottom here and then the rounded edge. It's just not quite so pointy. So that was the closest that I could find to a cone. And then the last one, which I think you guys are going to be able to find a lot of, is a cylinder. So remember, this one is the cylinder. It's got 2 faces and 1 rounded side. I found lots of cans in my pantry that were cylinders that had 1, 2 faces and a rounded side. My salt shaker was a cylinder. And my Clorox wipes, when I was cleaning my house, have 2 flat faces and a rounded side was a cylinder. So I wonder how many you guys can find. I'm going to send you a seesaw activity. Go on a 3D shape hunt in your house. Can you find a cube, a sphere, a rectangular prism, a cylinder, and a cone? Can you count the faces to make sure that it's a 3-dimensional shape and not a flat 2D shape? Because there is a difference. Okay, I can't wait to see. Good luck on your hunt, first grade.